In today's video on our channel Survive and Thrive, I wanted to talk about one sector in the stock market, and that's biotech. One company that I've been behind for at least the last 7 to 8 years is Pfizer, ticker symbol PFE. This is a multinational pharmaceutical corporation that is headquartered in New York City. And they develop and produce medicines, vaccines for immunology, oncology, cardiology, endocrinology, and neurology. They've been around and were founded in 1849. So one of those companies that has a very established and long-standing history. So if you're looking for a company within the medical sector, then Pfizer is one of those companies that you really can count on and not worry a whole lot about the share price going up and down all the time. I look back at my original holdings and when I made those purchases, like I said, it was 8 years ago, and the cost basis at that time was $28. As you can see here, it's $38 today. And one of the aspects I really want to touch on is the dividend history for Pfizer. Now you can see on this Nasdaq.com website that the dividend yield is 4.01%, which is a really great and decent rate. Annual dividend is $1.56 for every share that you owe. And the last current ex-dividend date was May 6th, 2021. Going back in history to when I initially bought, it was actually May of 2013. You can see that it was 24 cents and then continued to add a couple cents each year. And then, like I mentioned, you can see here at the most current dividend rate, they're at 39 cents. Now, what's great about this, it's a very stable stock. So over the whole 8 years, I've done great with just continuing to increase position with reinvesting my dividends, as well as looking for those opportunities to buy it at a lower cost basis. And even though my original shares have only increased by $10 over the last almost decade, it's one that I just continue to add to and know that those dividends are going to continue to add to my portfolio for this holdings, and is a great means of passive income for me. Jumping into one of my portfolios where I have my Pfizer holdings, you can see here, like I mentioned, May 7th, 2013 is when I made my first purchase. And just continued to collect on those dividends where you can see these fractional reinvestments. And most currently, as of March of this year, 10 more shares to continue to build on this position. I know for myself, when I first started investing in stocks, I was really concerned about losing money. And so I didn't go really aggressive on some of my investments. Looking back, I should have taken it more seriously because I did have the funds to be able to grow a nest egg for myself. And I could have furthered my financial path to freedom in a much quicker way. But I know for those that are out there that are new, the best approach is to just get started. Even if you're putting a small amount of investment, $25 a month, $50 a month. And over months and years, you'll really start to see that it does work. And that will increase your confidence to really want to jump in and not get shook up by the corrections or stock market crash, but know that over decades you can really increase your wealth and put yourself in a position to have opportunities for how you use your money, which really is a resource. I wanted to finish by going over a quick article here that was on Investors Business Daily. And there was their first quarter earnings, 93 cents per share, which is a 47% increase compared to a year ago. And sales have soared 45% to 14.58 billion, which easily beat forecasts. Obviously, with the sale of the vaccine, that has been a huge booster and will continue to be, I would guess, for at least the next year or so. But the more encouraging news is that Pfizer also has a bunch of other medications that are either in development or being sold. So they do have a wide array of products out there. And that, combined with their long-standing history as a company, should make investors very confident about wanting to put their money in a company like Pfizer. And I think, like this title says from this article in Investor Place, while its price won't soar, Pfizer stock is a fantastic long-term buy. And that's a big approach for myself. To be honest, between stocks, real estate, and crypto, I haven't sold out of any of those for the last 8 years since I started a lot of my positions and portfolios. And so really for me, I just want to continue to build on those companies that I think are going to be attractive and have a long-term future, and just build on what I already have and create more wealth. As it states here, PFE stock looks poised to perform fairly well over the next 3 to 4 years. The shares are trading at a relatively low valuation, and there are multiple promising drugs and vaccines in Pfizer's pipeline. Plus, the company won't face several key patent expirations until 2026, 5 years from now. Last September, Pfizer reported that it was developing 3 gene therapies that could cure hemophilia and muscular dystrophy. Those therapies alone could eventually generate a cumulative $4 billion annual revenue, as stated by the company. So that is a huge catalyst over the next 3 to 5 years, and something that should be watched, especially if it's a company that you either have holdings in or want to look for an entry point. As always, do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. I can only give you the knowledge based on my own experience. But like I said, Pfizer is a very strong and long-standing company and is one that is very stable. Pfizer last month also reported on promising data on its gene therapy for the treatment of hemophilia A. Pfizer is developing the therapy in partnership with another drug maker, Sangamo. And last October, the FDA put the company's gene therapy for Duchenne muscular dystrophy on a fast track. Importantly, the therapy has already produced statistically significant positive results in a small number of patients with this rare disease. Pfizer also predicted in September that its drug for atopic dermatitis, for triglyceride reduction, and its pneumococcal vaccine for protection from bacterial infection could also generate peak annual revenue of $3 billion. 2 months ago, Biotech called this atopic dermatitis a blockbuster in waiting. Also, Pfizer is working with Biotech on more mRNA influenza vaccines, which continues building on the work done by Pfizer and Biotech, as well as by Moderna. One other great thing that happened back in late November of last year was there was a merger in Beatrice. And so for every share or every 100 shares that you owned in Pfizer, there was a percentage that you got of Beatrice. So that was just an added bonus for myself. It popped up on my E-Trade account one day, and I didn't really know what had happened. I thought maybe a company changed names. And as I was doing more research, I realized that there was a merger, and I was just getting added stocks because of my ownership within Pfizer. I just wanted to touch on some key points for this company. to show how strong they are and how stable of an investment it can be. Please leave comments below if you have holdings in Pfizer, or if there are others within the medicinal industry or biotech field that you have strong conviction for. And let's help each other out to build some wealth and make our lives easier. Make it a great week. Enjoy the journey. And don't just survive, thrive.